Now, yesterday we gave you a primer on E. Jean Carroll. And this is a terrible story. And this drives President Trump's thinking on a lot of other matters. So on June 21st, coming up, 2019, 7 years ago, Ms. Carroll accused Donald Trump of rape and sexual assault. Okay. She said that Mr. Trump committed these crimes at a Bergdorf Goodman department store in either late 1995 or early 1996. E. Jean Carroll did not know, could not recall when she was raped. That might be a signal fact. Didn't report it to police, didn't report it to any Bergdorf official, didn't do anything. Sat on it for what? More than 20 years. Then presto. Now this was the case where George Stephanopoulos from ABC called Trump a racist, and then ABC had to pony up $15 million for defamation to Mr. Trump's library, I believe they used their money for. Now, in depositions, this is a civil case, not a criminal case. Again, Ms. Carroll did not report this to any authority. There were depositions, and Ms. Carroll said in a deposition, which is a sworn document, nobody else is involved with this but me. Nobody's funding it. Nobody pushed me to do it. I'm just outraged, and I thought I had to do something. That's under oath. Now it turns out that a group called American Future Republic, run by a guy named Reid Hoffman, okay, gave Ms. Carroll's lawyers $7 million to use in this lawsuit. He admits it. He admits it. And now the Justice Department is investigating E. Jean Carroll. They have to. They have to. On possible charges of conspiracy, perjury, on and on and on and on. So Hoffman admits that he gave the money. And then the lawyer for Carroll said her recollection is refreshed. Oh, I see. She doesn't remember when she was allegedly raped. She didn't report it to anybody. She told the court under oath nobody helped her or her lawyers, gave her any money at all. But now, suddenly, her recollection is refreshed. Okay. Now, I am all for this investigation. The progressive left hates this. Oh, is Trump going after his... Yeah, it is. Now, E. Jean Carroll is entitled to due process. That means the FBI investigates her. It goes to a grand jury. If the grand jury finds that Ms. Carroll likely committed a crime, she'll be indicted. I hope she is. This is outrageous. And I'll remind you, here's what Donald Trump said about the case. So,
I know nothing about this nut job. She's accusing you of raping her. The worst thing you can do, the worst judge. And you know it's not true too. You're a political operative also. You're a disgrace.
he's talking to her lawyer in a deposition, Mr. Trump. All right, joining us now from Newark, New Jersey, is attorney Ronald Coleman, who's following this case. You know, I wonder whether most counselors, most lawyers give a hoot about this, because it goes right to the heart of our justice system, even though it's a civil case. That you can make up anything about anybody, and I certainly do not believe E. Jean Carroll, I'm being upfront about that, okay? And then try to ruin that. And Carroll won. The jury awarded her $5 million.
How?
And then a judge gave her another $80 million because Trump allegedly defamed her.
How?
I would think that every lawyer in the country would be interested in this. Am I wrong?
You're wrong. And you're wrong for the same reason that so many of us were wrong about how quiet lawyers, especially the criminal defense bar, have been over the last 10 years with respect to everything involving Donald Trump. The rape, if there's any rape that's involved Donald Trump, it was the rape of the attorney-client privilege. The Michael Cohen business, all the things that have been done to Donald Trump, the ACLU and the extremely well-spoken criminal defense bar have had so little to say, save perhaps Alan Dershowitz. Don't be surprised at all. This is negotiable virtue that they have and pretty much not much else.
So they don't care because Trump got hammered. But Stephanopoulos paid a price for what he did. However, in his silence across the country about this story, I guess it's gone away. Trump isn't going to suffer for it, but the case is going to come before the Supreme Court, correct?
It is distinctly possible, and it's a real shame because it should have been dealt with. It's bad enough that this went through the New York District Court, but that the Second Circuit was so ready to rubber stamp the decisions of the District Court is really disturbing. So many problems with, so many legal problems, so many procedural problems, so many constitutional problems. Now, these kind of things happen in lots of cases, and circuit courts ignore them lots of times. The only reason anyone's even hearing about this is because it involves the President of the United States.
Turning 65 years old, Medicare is a total headache. Between the fine print and the endless spam.
All y'all fucking with the
your
same fucking Medicaid company.
while missing the coverage you actually need.
That's fucking stuff.
That is why we have partnered up with Chapter.
The chapter is all over the fucking TV.
Chapter advocates for you, not the
I'm
insurance
like,
company.
man, fuck
They've
chapter.
already helped hundreds of my listeners
Man, fuck chapter. I don't fucking trust no fucking chapter.
in your
I don't
Medicare
trust
coverage.
y'all.
The Justice Department is keeping very quiet about this. In fact, there's contradictory statements being made. The case is now in Illinois, the U.S. Attorney's Office. But we can't get any definition on what they're doing, if anything. Do you know?
Well, I certainly don't know. Even if I were a member of the Trump legal team, I wouldn't know. I haven't been for a couple of years, but it is not particularly surprising that those who do know aren't going to say, whether they're on the Trump side or the Carroll side or the government side, because it's still an investigation. And as you point out, Bill, the government has denied that there is an investigation with respect to Carroll herself. They are looking at the Reid Hoffman business, and to the extent that his activities involve her, then she and this case would be part of the investigation.
All right, so Hoffman and his crew would focus on whether they broke certain laws in the pursuit of trying to convict Donald Trump in civil court. Do I have that correct?
Well, not convict, but to find him liable. I mean, they're not all that interested in either the $5 million or the $83 million. They're interested. What the entire purpose of that lawsuit was to destroy Donald Trump's political reputation, to make him unelectable.
So why isn't there more position on this? Because it seems to me that's a very high crime to take out a legitimate contender for the presidency with a false accusation. And I'm not even going to get into what he said, she said about it, but if the person, E. Jean Carroll, says under oath nobody helped me and then $7 million rolled into her attorneys, that's pretty serious, it looks to me, is it not?
It is pretty serious, and you know, Bill, from a technical point of view, from what I understand, the Carroll team is taking the position that, well, she was always, and apparently the Second Circuit passed on this as well, she was always walled off from the mechanics of it. But that means when asked the question, you don't answer no, you answer, I've been walled off from the mechanics of it. Moreover, when the lawyer says 6 months later, you know, I've been thinking about this case, so kind of just going through the files, and I just remembered about that $7 million check. $7 million is a lot of money for most lawyers.
Just remember,
You know,
and I don't buy the Jean Carroll thing at all, because she had to walk into a lawyer's office, or be guided in, all right? She had to make a deal, whether it's a contingency deal or an hourly deal. She had to be involved in it. Had to be.
of course.
So it looks to me, yeah, that's how they're going to portray her, as this doddering person. But if she's so doddering, how can you believe anything she says about the actual case?
Well, if it involves Donald Trump, the rule always is, you believe it. Especially, you know, if you actually go so far as to name the source for the claim against Donald Trump, that's a home run. I mean, you can say anything about Donald Trump, and it's repeated breathlessly and immediately by the corporate media.
Yeah, none of the media has challenged this E. Jean Carroll as far as we can tell. I'm bringing it up because I just think it's not only dangerous for Mr. Trump, but it's dangerous for every single American.
Fucking right. Don't sit there and lie and be a visual liar and then get paid for lying. She got paid for lying.
Again, the point that you brought up at the beginning, where's the legal profession? Where's the judiciary on this?
There ain't none.
The
The
judiciary
legal
is
system is
supposed
a
to
piece of
be
shit.
the neutral arbiter. It's supposed to be the last best
Yep.
opportunity an aggrieved citizen has, or an accused citizen has, to get justice.
Yep.
And they have so failed. I mean, every court in New York, whether federal or state, failed so miserably with respect to the lawfare brought against Donald Trump. It's a gigantic problem, and it really presents a political and institutional problem for the Supreme Court as well.
And a jury participated in this whole charade as well. They found him guilty.
Yep.
Well, juries in...
Without a reasonable doubt, lady, if you don't know when it happened, that's reasonable doubt to me.
That really got me too.
You would think that. And you would think that even
Thank
if the
you.
jury...
Thank you. That just goes to show the jury was tainted. The jury was tainted.
There are many opportunities
The jury
for
was
judges and
tainted.
courts to say if there is insufficient
The
evidence.
jury was tainted.
It is very hard, though, to appeal from a jury verdict. And you sue people in certain jurisdictions because you know what kind of juries you're going to get in these political cases, and they guessed right just about every time.
All right, Counselor. Thanks very much for your expertise. Let us know if anything breaks and you hear about it.
Now my whole thing is, why in the
Hey, Bill
fuck?
O'Reilly here. Welcome to another
Why in the
YouTube
fuck
bonus.
did she get paid?
Very glad to see you. Thank you for taking the time. 6 members of Congress are disrupting. They're mavericks. They are causing trouble. 3 Democrats, 3 Republicans. There are more, but I whittled it down to 6 because these people are always causing trouble. So to be fair, we split it. First up, Rand Paul. Okay? Been in the Senate for 14 years from Kentucky, 62 years old. Son of Ron Paul.
Fucking shame, bro. But it is what it is.